Do you have a brilliant startup idea but are stuck in the launching phase? Are you feeling overwhelmed by funding, marketing, or just where to start? Don't let your startup idea stay grounded. Visit our website at eapla.com to schedule a Blue Couch meeting and launch your startup journey today.
Welcome back to On The Cusp. I got my co-host Matt Snyder back
Dave.
with me. Wow, we just had our first one where we had 3 doctors, in there, but I'm really excited to talk about this with Lee Hovis. Lee's new to Shreveport, and he's taken on the WOW, which is
Wonder Oasis Waterpark.
Wonder Oasis Waterpark. And we've known it under a lot of different names here in Shreveport. I think it's an icon, in this community.
It is.
Wouldn't you agree, Matt?
Yes. I mean, it was originally Watertown, and that was such a big part of so many people's lives growing up. And it's very interesting because, I'm 43 years old, and when I grew up, there were 2 kind of things kids went and did in Shreveport. You went to Hamill's Amusement Park, and you went to Watertown. And Hamill's was a huge loss to this community, and you still see it pop up on social media every 6 months, people talking about it and people going crazy, and it really took a lot. But Watertown, people have continued to come in, like you, Lee, to save this and resurrect it, and it's so important. Before you start your story, it's so important because of a lot of reasons, but it also sits right on the side of I-20, right as you enter Shreveport.
That's right.
Absolutely great visibility.
And Dave and I talk about that a lot. It matters what people see when they're driving through the city. And that water park has gone through times where you make that drive to Dallas and it looks wonderful. And it's gone through times where it looks absolutely horrible.
So Lee, why Shreveport? Why WOW? Tell us.
Why not? That's probably a good question too.
Yeah.
The journey with the Shreveport Water Park has been kind of exciting for me because it ties in history, it ties in culture, it ties in this great hope and idea of what it can be. And I was invited by the previous owner with Splash Kingdom to come down and look at the park. Their business model was changing. They were merging away from parks and more into consulting. So they were looking for someone to take over the park. And I've known the owner for a few years. He's a really good guy, but he is based in Texas.
He was a very nice guy.
He is, great guy, great salesman, but he was in Texas. And over the last few years, he's been to the park maybe 2 times a year. And that's where the big issue has been when you were talking about what's going on with it. There wasn't leadership. There wasn't someone right there that people could say, hey, I've got an idea for you, or hey, could you do this better? Or we need to put this in. And
That's a great point.
That is something that we have noticed this year. I'm on site every day. I make sure I talk to people as they're coming in. I make sure I talk to people as they're leaving. I've got a little boat that I have on my desk that one of the season pass holders made for me. Little foam boat, an 8-year-old kid. And it's just a reminder that we have to have that connection. And it's odd because we came in this year just trying to get it open, and it had been left in kind of disarray, and there's a lot of things that we had to do and a lot of struggles and hurdles that we weren't expecting, but we got open, a little bit delayed, but we started turning that perception around. And one of the oddest things for me is I've never been that person to really want to be out the face of the I've always thought it should be someone younger and prettier that should be the face of the company. But all of a sudden, I'm doing these posts and people are listening to them and they're wanting to know, what are you doing next? Or are you going to do this? Or is this going to get fixed? And so we started explaining what the plan was, what we're going to do. And
now you're no newbie to the water park industry either.
No. As a matter of fact, I am one of those strange college kids that started working at a water park in Williamsburg, Virginia.
How cool.
I was the first ever employee hired at Water Country USA in Williamsburg, Virginia. Which
And
is now
you stayed
two of
in
us.
the water park industry your
did.
whole career.
That's
I did.
incredible. That's such a difference right there.
So you bring all this knowledge and expertise to our water park, icon in our community. That's incredible. And you picked us, Shreveport.
I did. And it was coming to the park, driving through the community, looking at, look at this area. This is great. Look at this. This has all this potential. And it's just like no one wanted to give it any attention. And I just see that whole the interstate drive as you're going by the park and going, there's a water park.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing.
Okay.
Anybody with the 8-year-old in their car is not getting by there during the summer.
Exactly. It's like, oh, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. When are we
Okay,
going?
so let's talk about that. And we're called On The Cusp. So I
Yeah,
love
so
that
you're right on the
there.
cusp.
You're on the cusp. So let's talk about, just for people that don't know, and I'm curious, what do we have there? That water park, when you came and you saw it as a water park expert, tell me what the bones of it.
So we have a 15-acre park, which puts us at that large water park section as far as a national recognition. Most water parks are around that 15 to 20 acre size. Now, we're not a mega park like you might have in some of the bigger cities, but we're still a large water park. Looking at the basic attractions, wave pool, lazy river, water slide complex, tube slide complex, large pool, children's areas, shade structures, food service outlets all over. You have all the aspects of a major water park in any city.
Okay.
It's identical to what you're going to get at any water park.
So when you walked through there, the things you were looking for, it checked those boxes.
It
We've
did.
got that. We don't have to come in with any big expense
And the market.
to add.
So you think there's a market here?
Absolutely,
There it
there's a
is.
market. That was the first thing I did. I'm looking at, all the population base and looking at the different cities around, and then you take that ring from that 5-10 mile radius, and you go out to 60-65 miles. And so there's so much more than just Shreveport and Bossier.
Right.
I mean, we stretch all the way out to Longview. We pull people from there. We pull people from Monroe. We had people constantly coming from Monroe over to
You've looked at
Shreveport.
all these zip codes. And
Oh, absolutely. Alexandria, we've got people coming up from Alexandria. We are the only water park in
such-
90 miles.
90
it's
miles.
such an interesting thing about you talking about being on site running the water park. I'm a big believer, and I talk to people all the time that have this idea, and we're going to invest, and we're going to build this restaurant. My first question is always, who's going to run it? And I get really light on the idea if it's we're going to hire somebody, we're going to find this person, or I'm like, where are you going to be? Oh, I'm going to be running my doctor's office. On to every time that water park in my life has been taken over by another group, I have gone. Because I've usually met the owner or whatever, at some point I've gone. And you're right, it usually is the operational things that I go, it was a fun day, but it's not going to be real high on my list to get back.
Right. And I think that's important because people have to want to come back.
Right.
And so part of our acronym, WOW, or Wonder Oasis Water Park, was set up for service. And, the Shreveport area has a lot of people, diverse cultures, diverse salary bases, and we have to make this special for everyone. It can't just be, just the people that can afford it. Everybody's got to be able to want to come, and they have to want to come back.
Right.
If everybody in Shreveport came one time, we'd have a heck of a year. But if they didn't come back the second year,
Right.
it wouldn't work.
Right.
We've got to build that repeat business. We have people that want to come back.
So how many people, when you're at full operations during the season, how many people do you employ?
We had 187 part-time employees, and I say part-time, they worked 40 hours a week, but they're lifeguards, they're cashiers, food service, park services, retail. So it's all over the place. It's a full-size amusement park.
That makes you a large employer in Shreveport, whether you realize that or
That's
not.
what
When you-
I've been told.
That's right. I mean, you have a business that employs 150 people in Shreveport, you're a large for us.
We had 187. We expect to hire about 200 this coming year. We have 3 full-time employees currently. We plan to expand to 5.
And I think when you and I were talking earlier, you're going to do your own lifeguard certification now?
We are looking at all kinds of options. Right now we're using a professional water park service. We're also looking at the American Red Cross. They have a very good lifeguard service and a water park base as well. I'm certified as an instructor as a lifeguard. I'm certified as an instructor trainer as a lifeguard, so I can train instructors. My operations director is also an instructor. So we have the ability to train our own lifeguards internally now, and that's going to be a big plus for us because I'm going to push so many people through the lifeguarding course. There will never be a lifeguarding shortage in Shreveport.
Now, you're a guy that
That'd be
came
huge.
from, now this is really important because Matt and I, we struggle. Matt's a culture and entertainment guy. I'm a jobs guy, okay? I say the more jobs you create, the better Shreveport is. Matt will tell you, without something for them to do, they're not staying.
Dave does not understand the lack and disappointment of the guy he brings in for a job who has an 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 4-year-old when they look on Google for things to do with your kids in Shreveport Bossier. It is a daunting, tiny list. And that is a major problem. And if I'm a dad looking at 5 offers of cities I can go take a job, that matters to me. And so what you're doing, having an open water park, I think it allows Dave to get that job. I think if you're not there, Dave can't get the job he's trying to get.
I would agree with you in that regard. And I used to be a little more like Dave and bring the jobs and then the businesses will come. And now I've leaned a little bit more your way. And the reason because of that, to be honest, is in Florida, I worked for a real estate development company. We, had this whole marketing scheme of live, work, and play in your own community. And you can't just start a community and go, oh, let's just start jobs. You have to have a base of people. And then the base of people have to have amenities and culture and things to do. And then jobs have to be there as well. And so we started this community. They sold, I think, a couple hundred homes first year. Then they built their amenity complex, which happened to have not 1, but 2 water parks. And that created this desire to live there. And this is Jacksonville, Florida. This is not some big real estate draw. This is, a place that struggles in the real estate market. That community, once we got the water parks established, once we developed the culture and the activities there as well, from fitness to concerts to farmers markets, everything we did there, it created that almost cult following of people that wanted to live there. And as people started moving in constantly, then all of a sudden there's a Publix and there's a retail area. And then Advanced Disposal brought their corporate headquarters there. And then things just kept growing. And that was supposed to be a 30-year project. They sold out in 15 years. 15,000 homes.
It's also who takes those jobs.
Yes.
You can have 1,000 jobs come to Shreveport. I want to have our pick of who fills it. I want the employer to be able to pick out of the best talent. And the best talent is going to have an income they want and a lifestyle they want. And can we give them those? And that's my kind of argument. Well, of course we want more jobs. Right. But that water park, the other part on the water park on this is the guy you're bringing to look at the job is in Dallas. And he drives down the interstate to come for this interview in Shreveport, Louisiana. And the first thing he passes in Shreveport, Louisiana is a busted down water park with boards hanging off of it. That's his first impression. Right. So I think the water park, or he passes a water park with little kids flying down the slide and it's active and you
That's
can
right. It's a huge mass of people out there.
That's
all that
two
activity.
different first impressions.
Very important to us. But I want to go to that point though. When you took this on, okay, you bought this, okay, you had some challenge opening last year when you actually opened. What were the challenges? I mean, people got to understand, you took on a huge challenge. It wasn't just sitting there waiting for you to flip the electric switch and turn the water on.
No, it wasn't. We might have to have 3 or 4 episodes for this, but I'll try to work on this. All right, so we assumed the property on March 1st, already months behind where we needed to be. So rush. Very first thing we did is let's transfer the electric from Splash Kingdom to Wonder Oasis. Whew, that's a mess right there. That opened the door for 6 city inspections. 6. This is a 40-year-old park. We've been there less than a week. We weren't ready for inspections. We weren't even planning on inspections, but they all showed up. Electrical, plumbing, zoning, fire safety, HVAC, and I can't remember the other one, structural, I believe. And they went through that park as if it was a brand new park. And all of a sudden, we've got a list of 20 things that we have to do before they'll even give us an occupancy permit. Now, the park has been operating continuously for 40 years. This will be our 40th year continuously operating this year, which we're going to celebrate. That'll be a good positive thing. It's the very first water park ever in Louisiana.
Yeah, there's a lot of history. A lot of history Shreveport doesn't understand.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, so there are things that, yes, we needed to fix this and we needed to fix this. And we planned on it, just not week 1. You know, we were planning to do everything before we opened. So all of a sudden our 20 list happened. We started going through and getting everything done. We had 19 and a half of them done. Inspector's supposed to come back. Nothing happened. Waiting around for them, nothing. I said, okay, I'll give them a day. They got called out to other places. It's, you know, it's busy work. Next day, still nothing. So I call the city at that point, and no one knows what happened. No one will tell me. And so I said, well, we really need them here. We're supposed to open up in, you know, just a few days. And so there's a lot of, I guess, departmental pointing the fingers. We found out that someone canceled our inspections, not us. Don't know why, don't know how that ever happened. And then when the inspectors came out, I guess they felt they were blamed, so they came out and found 40 more things that they hadn't told us about before.
Oh my God.
And at that point, it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me, you know? We spent over almost $200,000 more than we anticipated just to get open. That didn't include the general repair and maintenance. These were...
And how long is your season?
About 95 days.
95 days.
And we missed the first 22.
And you missed the first 22, but you did it.
We
and
did.
This is a testament to you and your team, because you guys, and I tell entrepreneurs this all the time, guys, you don't know until you don't know. And you're the perfect example of that. And you fought through every one of them, and you got it done, and you got it open.
We did. And
congratulations.
Yeah, you're not going to be thanked from the people that should thank you. I've lived in this world a lot with creating events and taking a lot of personal risk. I thank you, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because Shreveport takes advantage of good people with good purpose in doing things, and then you go through all that and nobody even looks. So.
Well, we did get a lot of thank yous from the community.
Good.
There's no question that the people were happy that we opened. You know, you're always going to have some of that negative aspect. And you know, when we took the park, we also acquired all the old Facebook posts, all the old marketing, all the old stuff. So there's years and years of negative comments that we're fighting against as well. So we're turning the tide, turning everything around.
Right.
And the best thing in the world, I'm walking through the park and family will come up to me and their kids will come up and they'll give me big hugs. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is what it's all about. And so I take a lot of pride in what we're doing. You know, the comments that we're hearing from the people who've come to the park is, it has never looked this good in the last 2 to 3 years. So we've got a long way to go.
How much concrete did you pour already?
Almost 6,000 square feet.
I remember you telling me that.
So where you are now, looking forward to year 2, is this a successful business? Can you make the money you need to make off this water park in Shreveport, Louisiana?
And the business has been successful over the years when leadership was on site and they were paying attention to what was going on, it was successful. It generated lots of revenue.
So what you're telling me, Lee, is you can make money in Shreveport, Louisiana, in the entertainment industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I wish we need
When
to be
do you
screaming
open?
that
When
from the
does this?
rooftops.
May 16th is opening. We
Okay.
coincide with the school's calendar.
Okay. Yeah, I figured on that. So May 16th is going to be opening day, okay? And you think you'll run through?
Through mid-September.
Okay.
Once the schools go back, we'll go to a weekend schedule. But we're planning some other things to make it.
That's what I wanted to hear. What you don't want to just be that 95 days.
No.
Okay, because you're in it for the long haul.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely, we
So
are.
what are you going to do the rest of the year?
Well, most people say, "Oh, what do you do? Just sit back and drink coffee." No, we're jumping in the middle, making changes, painting, building everything back up. But two of the things that we're really pushing for are some seasonal events: Halloween and Christmas. Huge times, and just happens to be that the water park's not normally open. So if we can create that Halloween type festival, combination of family-oriented, few scares here and there, some entertainment, people will come. They want that entertainment.
I love that.
Christmas,
That's awesome.
same way. I mean, there are lights everywhere. Now, we've got to be a little different than that. Not having a light show this year, I got to go around and look at all of them. Went to the National Roses Center, went down to Illuminati down in Stonewall, gone over to Marshall, kind of looking at what's out there and what's being done. Once again, it comes back to having something for the family, not just for the lights and go, ooh, ah, but having little activities going on, mazes and entertainment, but not just for listening to music, but entertaining the kids.
Yeah.
That's
really
a really
cool.
critical thing.
Yeah, absolutely. This is really big for us, and I wanted to have you on so that we could get this out, so everybody would know, that you took this on, and you're here.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it.
You're a guy from Virginia that's now got his
I'm now
invested in Shreveport.
I have my Louisiana driver's license. I'm here to stay.
Okay.
We will be. I've got 5 kids. I did not know that it changed hands last year. We would have been there. We will be there this year. I look forward to it. We'll bring a big crew.
You'll see me walking around usually with a drill or a hammer or something. I'll have fun.
Man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're
Lou.
always
This is
here for
great.
anything we can do.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good.
Enjoy the podcast? We would love your feedback about today's show and who you think should be our next guest. Send us an email at info@eapla.com. Also, be sure to share the show and leave a comment on our social media post.